Alright, welcome to another Stormgate cast. I'm Algorithmore, and this is going to be a special cast submitted to me by one of these players. Um, Not sure which one actually, because both of these players are playing on alt names. So I will just introduce them using their alt names, and this is the Red Infernal player Simu Liu, famous actor. And up here in the Blue Infernal is Simu Liu's opponent, Not Good Enough. And even though we don't know who they are, they apparently know who each other are. And at least it looks like Not Good Enough is not happy to meet Simu Liu on the ladder. Now, if you want to, you can go take a look at both of these accounts on the leaderboard. They are quite high up there. If I remember correctly, one of these players, let's see, Simu Liu is ranked in the top 200. And Not Good Enough in the top 100. Both of them have win rates of about 90% with around 30 to 40 games played each at least when I'm recording this. So these are some really good players. Again, if you've been playing on the ladder recently, you know that matchmaking can be a little bit challenging at times. And so some of the higher ranked players who are having trouble getting games, they have been making alt accounts so that they can, well, smurf a little bit, but just so that they can actually access the matchmaking. So far, Simu Liu has been creeping out on his side of the map at just a little bit ahead of Not Good Enough. Not Good Enough here is got gaunts. There's a brute. So yeah, that I remember there was the vault being built there. We did have a conclave opening here. We have a conclave. We have a ritual chamber going down for those plague axes, a forward vault, and a shrine. So that shrine timing here, very similar. Looks like Simu Liu is just a little bit behind. So both of them going at a pretty similar build. And we have Not Good Enough claiming the vision tower while trying to move the rest of his units over here. And it, where did that hexen go? Did I miss? Maybe that hexen got taken out. See a hexen with this army. And Simu Liu is also creeping the vision camp now. So again, pretty much on pace, except that Simu Liu has cleared the energy camp already. Now, did he take down the trees? No. So the trees were not taken down in the back to access that. And now, oh, I guess they are about on pace with the Luminite camp having been taken by Not Good Enough already. But yeah, Simu Liu maybe just being a few seconds ahead, as Not Good Enough is now going to creep the energy camp. And a couple brutes out front tanking. We got fiends running by, probably just intending to scout. Coming by the speed camp while scouting out this base here and trying to get some damage on that shrine. Always a good strategy against infernals, as damage against an infernal building never can be repaired or healed. So even if you just run a few fiends in there and do, you know, 20-30 damage ahead there you go. That next time you're in there putting pressure on. We have another fiend doing the same thing down here, just a single fiend. And the army of Simu coming back. Interesting to see that there has been a line of trees cut out here. Probably by that first imp that went to build this. That's just an interesting way to make a faster route early in the game, I guess. Later in the game, you have other ways to knock trees down and you can be a bit more efficient. So Simu starting to move a little bit across the map, or at least maybe just posturing a bit and positioning that army forward to intercept any movements by NotGoodEnough. But actually it looks like Simu is going for this Ethereum camp while NotGoodEnough has moved in to take out the Luminite and splitting a Brute to put a single Fiend there, while also sending, well, that Fiend's going to run into some Fell Hogs and there's not much you're going to do about that. Now, getting the warning that this tower has been taken, NotGoodEnough certainly knows that Simu army's here, but not knowing the size of it, doesn't realize that Simu actually has more stuff here. And oh wow, a very nice Nightfall infestation going for both of them, landing on all those gaunts. But it's the retreating gaunts that are actually going to be more in trouble there, and luckily the reinforcements from NotGoodEnough show up, and that's enough. Well, there are also reinforcements coming from Simu, but it's really a good idea not to take a bad engagement, and so I think he's just retreating back to, well, to regather the troops, and apparently now moving right back to his side of the map. NotGoodEnough is also retreating back and has got this third base up. Not quite with a lot of miners there yet. In the main, we've got a greater shrine, and do we have any upgrade? I don't see upgrade buildings. Did I miss them? There's our ritual chamber. Just finishing off Reaper's Rush. All right. And no Hellforge yet. But for Simu also has this third base up with it. Looks like a fourth base also just being built or just having finished. This base is up and mining. We have a ritual and a Hellforge ritual chamber done here, or no upgrades, and we have Soulforge Ascendants going down here. That looks like a Reaper's Rush. So both players finishing up Reaper's Rush for their gaunts, and a pretty good gaunt ball here for NotGoodEnough. While Simu has also a nice ball with some Brutes out front and a Magmadon added and a Weaver added. So more gaunt heavy coming out of NotGoodEnough. Few gaunts going over here to try and claim this tower, and there are some Fiends there. So this is a nice just sort of, you know, meta of what units do you send there. Is it a single Fiend? We now have an engage in the middle. Yeah, do you send a single Fiend, a couple Fiends, 4 gaunts? Well, the 4 gaunts were enough to take out the 4 Fiends. You just want to have more than your opponent. Again, just some little skirmishes here. Trying to use those gaunts to get some Plague Axe damage and then maybe spawn a few extra Fiends. Those Brutes in the front, of course, taking the damage. Nice split from NotGoodEnough. Simu also microing the gaunts around the bottom side to get a little bit more surface area, and now having a concave, a nice Nightfall infestation going down. The Brutes of NotGoodEnough are doing a good job of tanking, and it looks like the tide is turning for NotGoodEnough, getting on top, and all of these Weavers, 2 Weavers actually going down, trying to teleport out. I like that move, using their teleport ability to try and get them out quickly. Of course, they're vulnerable while they're dancing their way away. That one Weaver managing to regroup with the rest of the army. But we have a lot of, well, moving back to get that speed boost is Simu. And again, those speed camps really helping out. We already have speedy gaunts, but they can be even extra speedy if you soak them in those speed juices. And one Weaver coming in to stun that creep. A good way to deal with the creep. Also to get that creep on your Weaver or get your Weaver tanking. This army's kind of moved back to take that camp, and Simu's going to move forward using a skull to scout the army and see just what kind of composition and how many units he's up against. And he's going to push out again, adding a Harbinger to the mix, and that's exactly the reason why. When you land it down, you can cast an effigy, and that effigy will be permanent, and you now have Shroud permanently at the source of your battle, or at the site of your battle, I should say. And the Harbinger, of course, also has multi-other uses you can drop with it if you want to, but if you have it with your army, you can use it to, if it upgraded, stun your opponents when landing, and it has a real nice stun ability. And also, it can be very useful for maneuvering some of your slower units around. For instance, you can use it to drop your brutes or your mags onto your opponent's army, and then they can get some of that melee damage down right away, especially mags that can be very useful for. But now we have these Simu gets sort of caught on the resource camp by Not Good Enough, but they just exchange a few volleys of Gaunt axes and then each retreat back to the safety of their out. A couple scout Gaunts and Fiends moving forward to try and just see where is the positioning of that army. And a couple mags being added here for Not Good Enough. Also Weavers. So it's Weaver Gaunt versus Weaver Gaunt. But on Simuliu's side, we have Brutes and Hellborns. And on Not Good Enough side, we got Mags. Oh, and now a Hellborn being added as well. And this was a strike force. I missed this. I think it must have moved down here and done some damage to a base. Missed that. Again, summoning more Shroud, which helps speed up those Weavers. And that army maybe trying to move back to respond to that base. And Not Good Enough retreating back to his side to take some more creep camps, although we now see a large mass of our units moving across. There is a dragon out on the map for Simu. And now positioning that army forward, the dragon trying to get on top, breathing down that poisonous breath down on, and we have dragons on both sides actually. Poisonous breath going down for both sides. There's this nice little wall of meat farms there, and more creep being put forward, or more Shroud being pushed forward for Simu. And Not Good Enough, just again, maybe not sure if he really wants to push in here and try and test this army from Simu. Now they do get into an engage. We got the Weavers doing some lashes, pulling in a Hellborn, a couple other Weavers going down. We have Shroud on both sides and Tess on both sides. We have the dragons. Where did those dragons go? I don't see the dragon. There's one dragon right here. Let's see where Simu's dragon is. But again, more lashes going down on Hellborns. Lots of damage. It looks like there are more Gaunts here, but Not Good Enough is confident to push forward. And we see upgrades. We have that Molten Touch upgrade for the Hellborns on both sides. That last Hellborn being pulled in for Not Good Enough, or Simuliu's Hellborn being pulled in by Not Good Enough. And Not Good Enough's Hellborns in the back there still raining down that fire, positioning the army a bit, because there is now a sea of Fiends arriving, but there are 5 Hellborn in the back, all raining down that Molten Touch. Those Gaunts in the back, they're just trying to deal with the Fiends for now. Can they get rid of those Fiends before? There's just a lot of Gaunts going down for Simu as well, and it looks like the tide has turned a little bit, and now a couple Megs have arrived, and even though there are a lot of Fiends there, there's just a good answer coming out of Not Good Enough in terms of enough units, enough Fiends, enough Gaunts. Ooh, some really good hits with the Molten touch there on the Gaunt. Lots of fire. Some reinforcement weavers are now coming in to take out some of those Hellborn, and we have Mag facing off on the bottom with the weavers. We have still that one single hero Hellborn of Simu on the far left, now getting surrounded, and that is a GG out of Simu. Hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Stormgate content.